Chapter 29 of Marit Tries to Salted Fish. Lin Jingyu met his father's disciple, Hu Ji, in the front hall of the Lin residence. Hu Ji came from a poor family. When he was studying in the Imperial Medical Office, he could only afford to eat one meal a day. Once, when Father Lin had gone to the Imperial Medical Office to give a lecture, he ran across him hiding in a corner, desperately gulping down water to stop his hunger. Having pity on him, Father Lin found him a job cleaning the library. With this little money, Huachi was able to complete his studies. Afterwards, he entered the Imperial Hospital and was taken in by Father Lin as a student and was shown great care. To him, Father Lin was tantamount to a second parent. And so, no matter how difficult the task assigned to him by Father Lin, to him it would be an unshrinkable duty. After exchanging greetings, Hu Ji took out 2 incense boxes from the medical box. The red spices are the Feng Shui Huang used by the Empress. The brown spices are the Sheng Cha Si used by the concubine Chen. As per His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince, he is not in the habit of using incense. Lin Jingyu took the incense boxes and smelled them one after the other. Dr. Hu, have you done any study on spices? Hu Ji said modestly, I know a little bit. What is your opinion on these 2 spices? The items used by the nobles in the palace are naturally unparalleled. Feng Shui Huang can help one concentrate energy and calm the mind. It promotes health and soothes the nerves. Sheng Cha Si has the effect of helping one reach enlightenment and stabilizes the blood. Both incenses were palace secret formulations. Without the emperor's explicit permission, no one is allowed to use it. Hu Ji said, with a hint of lingering fear in his eyes. Yun Xiao, Gun Yong from Fengyi Palace and Xiao Quanzi from Changlei Palace took great risk to steal these samples. I hope they may be of use to young Master Lin. Lin Jingyu pondered for a moment, then asked, why doesn't the Crown Prince use incense? Hu Ji said, the Crown Prince experienced the battle for succession and witnessed the death of the third prince due to poisoning, and so he is very careful about what he eats. According to the maids of the Shangxi Bureau, all meals in the Eastern Palace are prepared by the kitchen of the Eastern Palace. It never passes through anyone else's hands. I see, Lin Jingyu said. Thank you, Dr. Hu, for your hard work. Hu Ji said immediately, young Master Lin is very polite. The Panwan had provided me with the chance to rebuild. It is an honor to be able to share Master's worries. Father Lin has helped and rescued far more than just 1 or 2 people. Lin Jingyu himself also wondered how his parents, ever so kind-hearted, could give birth to a wicked person like him. No, Jingyu, don't think that bad about yourself, okay? Like, you're a strong guy. See, if somebody is, coming at you with unwanted, lustful eyes, you should get back at them. You shouldn't just bear with it. You have to push back, and you are pushing back. Some within your control, some that are not in control, and you're just using poison to make sure you get the results you're looking for without actually dirtying your hands. So you're just smart, okay? A lot of people should be like that. He's not Lin Jingyu is not an evil person. He's not going after innocent people. He's not torturing people for fun or poisoning them for fun. They did something. They provoked him by saying stuff like he's just seducing everybody and everything. So yeah, you hit his pride and you look down on him and you think there won't be any repercussions. Like, yeah, that's what they think, right? Like, they are like so freaking powerful and everything, so that they can, like, just look at everybody like they want, claim them, use them like toys and things. Ugh, so freaking annoying. So, yeah, I don't care if Lin Chenyu is trying to poison them. And yes, Lu Wancheng is also in the plan. I don't care. They are power couple to me till the end. Okay. Lin Jingyu found Lu Wancheng in the guest room and showed him the two boxes of spices that Hu Ji bought. Lu Wancheng asked, "Is there any problem with these two incenses?" "No, but in pharmacology, two good medicines can result in something highly toxic when mixed together. I think the same holds true for spices." Shao Cheng wasn't like Lu Shaosong. As Hu Ji said, everything sent to the Eastern Palace must be strictly investigated. The livening up medicine he'd used last time wouldn't be able to enter the Eastern Palace. The only way was to send in something seemingly harmless, have it react with the things that Shao Cheng often comes into contact with, allow it produce a poison that would quietly eat away at Shao Cheng's body bit by bit. Lu Wanzheng couldn't help sighing when he heard these words. Study well the sciences and you can travel fearlessly to any corner of the world. This is a truth since time immemorial. Truth is useless. Lin Chenyu pressed down lightly on the space between his brows. Shao Cheng doesn't use incense. Even if he does, what we send won't make it to the Eastern Palace. Lu Wancheng played with the buyao that Lin Chenyu had given him. He said, "If you can't send things in, can you send people in?" The tacit understanding had gradually become stronger, and Lin Chenyu almost immediately understood what Lu Wancheng meant. "We will still need an opportunity for this matter." Lu Wancheng smiled and said, "I will look for the opportunity and you find the catalyst for the reaction. When husband and wife are of the same mind, they are a blade sharp enough to even sever gold. You are so sharp as a couple that you will sever like platinum. It's fine." Wait, is platinum the strongest material? I thought it was something called. Oh gosh, let me Google this for a second. Give me 1 second. Strongest metal. Tungsten. Oh yeah. My couple's so strong that they can slice through tungsten like a butter knife with their plotting and poison. So nice. Okay, let me go back. Lin Chengyu's lips ticked up slightly. Okay, that's right. He remembered something and beckoned to Huan Tong. "Remove the Laohan in my bedroom and replace it with a small bed." Lu Wancheng was taken aback. "Qingyu?" Lin Qingyu delivered the reason that he had thought of in advance. "Given your current condition, a mishap may happen at any time. You can't be left without someone watching you. Hualu is a girl and propriety limits her, while Huantong is not meticulous enough in his work. After thinking about it, it is still better to keep you by my side." Oh my gosh, Qingyu, you don't have to come up with the reasons. You can just say you like sharing the room with Lu Wancheng. It would make his day. No, it would make his entire life, He would be so freaking happy. Huantong said in disbelief, "Young master." A smile slowly appeared on Lu Wancheng's face. Looking at Lin Chenyu, his eyes appeared as pools reflecting a spring scenery. "Then, when we return to the Hao mansion, we will also replace the Laohan with a bed. Or we will have the carpenter make a new bed." Lu Wancheng gestured up and down. We will have him make a bunk bed. I will sleep in the bottom bunk. You can sleep in the top bunk. Lin Chingyu imagined the scene for a moment, a complicated expression on his face. Huan Tan couldn't help muttering in his heart, Young Master Hao is really promising. Lin Chingyu plunged headlong into studying the incenses. His body was dyed with all sorts of fragrances every day. Formulating incenses was a whole different study. Although he had a foundation in pharmacology, it wasn't easy to understand these subtleties in a short period of time. The two stayed in the Lin residence for a few days, during which news from the palace that the emperor intended to choose a concubine for the crown prince. It was said that it was when Go Guang who first brought up the matter. When Guo Gong believed that the crown prince, having already reached the age of weak crown, had long been enough to marry a wife and take on a concubine. 3 years ago, the Empress Dowager passed away, and the crown prince had just entered the Eastern Palace. The matter of his marriage was delayed due to the filial piety. Now that the period of filial piety has passed, it was time to turn his thoughts once again to his marriage. The wife of the crown prince was the future empress, so in this matter they should be cautious and not act too hastily. However, they could choose one or two concubines for the crown prince in the meanwhile to take care of the internal affairs of the Eastern Palace so as to share the worries of the crown prince. Just hire a staff, do you need a freaking concubine to look after a palace and stuff? Oh gosh, this is. Ugh. The emperor pondered this matter deeply and gave the empress full authority to select the concubine. Although she is only a concubine, she would still be the crown prince's first concubine, giving her great status. In the future, she would be at least a Gufei. Naturally, they couldn't simply just choose anyone. Her character, appearance, and family background must all be carefully considered. After some deliberation, the empress drew up a roster for the emperor to look over. Among them, there were included the name of Lu Niantao, the daughter of Nanan Hao. The noble ladies on the roster each gave their own merits. In the end, they were to be the crown princess's concubine, so the emperor meant to let the prince choose himself. Lu Niantao felt hope mixed with fear when the news spread to the Nananhao mansion. The happy thing was that if she captured the eyes of the crown prince, the hard times for her and her mother would come to an end. Her worry, though, was that she had already once crossed paths with the crown prince in Fengyi Palace, and the crown prince hadn't even spared her a glance. All his attention had been on Lin Qingyu. Wanting to stand out from all the other noble ladies was easier said than done. Fortunately, they were prepared in advance, and the gift they secretly sent to Changli Palace came in handy. Chen Gufei's eunuch aide delivered news that the emperor had caught a cough during the hunting trip and had yet to recover. His condition sometimes good, sometimes bad. The crown prince personally copied the Buddhist scriptures 300 times to show his filial piety and was planning to send it to Changshan Temple to burn and pray for blessings. This guy who just, lounges around in restaurants, kind of eyeing somebody else's wife, has filial piety. Oh my gosh, I don't think so. He's just doing it for looks. I'm pretty sure he made somebody else write it. This news, Shao Guanzi of Chenle Palace also told Hu Ji, and Hu Ji in turn told Lin Qingyu. Once Lu Wanzheng learned about it, he immediately said two words: personal connections. In late autumn, worshippers were teeming in Chanseng Temple. There was also a sense of coldness and bleakness. The wild geese were flying south, the days were getting cold and dismal, grasses turned brown, and leaves began to fall. Lin Qingyu helped Lu Wancheng out of the carriage, and Huan Tong pushed the wheelchair over. A little monk walked towards them, clasping his hands together in salute. He said, "Young Master Hao, Lin Shaojun, thank you for coming all this way." He sounded as though he had been waiting for a long time. Lin Qingyu said, "Did little monk know that we were coming?" The little monk said with a smile, "Lin Shaojun overestimates this little monk. It was the national teacher who told this humble monk that there were to be distinguished guests at the Chanseng temple today, and so he had me wait in front of the temple." Lu Wancheng and Lin Qingyu looked at each other and said, "Little monk, are you sure that we are the guests mentioned by the national teacher?" The little monk gestured for them to proceed inside. He smiled but said nothing. The three followed the little monk through the main hall and all the way to the back mountains. The little monk said, "Speaking of which, Madam Hao and the second young lady Lu also arrived at the temple today. They should currently be reciting scriptures and praying to the Buddha in the family hall. Would Lin Shaojun like to greet them?" Lin Qingyu said indifferently, "It seems that young Master Hao is the only one invited by the national teacher." The little monk bowed. "I asked that Lin Shaojun not blame this humble monk." Their reason for coming this time was for Shao Chang and Lu Nian Tao's autumn wind dewdrops. Lin Qingyu didn't want to disrupt the plan because of this national teacher's sudden appearance. "Wancheng?" Lu Wancheng said, "Go ahead, I'll go see what this half-immortal Shu is up to." After separating from Lin Qingyu, the little monk brought Lu Wancheng and Huan Tong to the door of one of the monks' quarters. "Young Master Hao, please. Patron Huan Tong may wait at the door with me." Sandalwood incense was lit in the room and the smoke rose in spirals. The Dayu's national teacher, Shu Junyan, stood with his hands behind his back. He had about him the aura of a transcendent being. "Young Master Hao." Shu Junyan turned around and looked at him with an elegant smile. "Long time no see. I trust that you have been well since we last met." "You trust that I have been well?" Lu Wancheng laughed. "Does the national teacher think that I look well?" Young Master Hao has indeed lost a lot of weight compared to Xingming last April. So I ask that the national teacher please get to the point. The time of one who is terminally ill is extremely precious, and I don't want to waste it on meaningless things. Shu Junyan smiled and said, "Young Master Hao's frame of mind seems to have changed a lot. The last time I saw the young Master Hao, what I saw was a person who had transcended life and death, someone who wouldn't mind spending some time to talk with me. Because he now had someone and something he cared about, time had also become meaningful. At the very least, he couldn't die before Shao Chang." Lu Wancheng smiled. "Then I shall be taking my leave." Shu Junyan immediately said, "Lu Wancheng's fate, this name, these 8 characters. No matter how many times I calculate it, the results say that his life will end in the 12th lunar month of this year." He shook his head and sighed. "It is a pity." Lu Wancheng looked at Shu Junyan for a long time, as though he wanted to see through him. "It's written in the book. The national teacher Shu possesses some real ability and learning." "Oh." Shu Junyan raised his eyebrows slightly. "Dare I ask young Master Hao what you are talking about?" Lu Wancheng didn't answer. He pushed the wheelchair to the desk, took a pen, and wrote 10 characters on the paper. Then, let me ask the national teacher to help me calculate again. After half an hour, Xu Junyan personally pushed Lu Wancheng to the back wing and sent him back to Lin Qingyu. Just as he was about to withdraw, Lu Wancheng stopped him and asked, regarding the things national teacher has said just now, how certain are these things? Xu Junyan said ambiguously, if the will of heaven doesn't change, then it's 100%. If the will of heaven wishes to change, then what can I do? Lu Wancheng smiled and said, as expected of the national teacher, your words bring more enlightenment than endless days of study. Xu Junyan felt with a smile. Oh, Xu Junyan left with a smile. Lin Qingyu asked, what did he tell you? Lu Wancheng hesitated for a while and said, we will talk about this later. What about Lang Shi and Lu Niantao? Lu Wancheng saw someone approaching from a distance and abruptly interrupted Lin Qingyu. Qingyu, you must hate Shaozhen a lot, don't you? Lin Qingyu gave him a strange look. Is there a reason you're asking? Lu Wancheng smiled a little shyly. Then, if you had to be kissed by a man, would you rather be kissed by Shaozhen or by me? Just hearing the words by Shao Chang made nausea rise in Lin Qingyu's stomach, and he looked at Lu Wancheng as though he found him offensive. But thinking that Lu Wancheng didn't have long to live, he tried his best to put away his bad temper and said as calmly as possible, I choose neither. Just choose one. Lu Wancheng won't give up. It's only if. Lin Qingyu didn't know what was so important about this question, why Lu Wancheng was so insistent on having him say, I choose you. I'd rather die, Lu Wancheng whispered. Qingyu, fine, I choose you, Lin Qingyu reluctantly said. Can you stop it? Lu Wancheng didn't know where the strength came from, but he stood up from the wheelchair and said with a smile, remember what you said. Oh my gosh, is it what it is? As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Qingyu felt a tightness around his waist. Lu Wancheng had unexpectedly wrapped his arms around his waist. The familiar medicinal incense mixed with sandalwood penetrated into his nose. Before he could react, he saw Lu Wancheng bowing his head, leaning in close to him. Lin Qingyu snapped back to his senses. He put his hands against the other's chest, trying to push the person away. But if he really did push him, Lu Wancheng might really just die. At this moment, Lu Wancheng whispered in his ear, someone's watching. Someone? Lin Qingyu understood. The strength behind his hands gradually weakened, and he finally changed what was to be a push into a hug. He closed his eyes while clinging to Lu Wancheng's shoulders with both hands. Long eyelashes swept across the tip of Lu Wancheng's nose. Itchy. His lips barely brushed against Lin Qingyu's cheek. It was just a borrowed kiss. He didn't know how long it took, but he eventually felt Lu Wancheng straighten up. Lin Qingyu slowly opened his eyes. His long eyelashes couldn't hide the look of loss and unease in his eyes. Seeing it, Lu Wancheng's breathing stuck. Lin Qingyu calmed down and asked in a low voice, is it him? Qingyu, Lu Wancheng said slowly. There seems to be something a little wrong. What? My heart is beating so fast. I'm almost out of breath. Lu Wancheng was already shaky. Lin Qingyu instinctively stretched out his arm and pulled him into his arms. Wancheng! The two almost fell together. Fortunately, Lin Qingyu steadied the both of them with his knees on the ground. Lu Wancheng's face was pale, but his ears were strangely red. He knew that he was about to faint, but he had something he needed to say before he lost consciousness. Lu Wancheng grabbed Lin Qingyu's robes and desperately spit out a few words. Do not, princess, carry me. Oh my gosh, this guy. Even at a freaking serious moment where he's fainting, he's like, please don't treat me like a woman or like a weakling. Oh my gosh. After speaking, he tilted his head and promptly fainted in Lin Qingyu's arms. Oh my gosh, this is so freaking hilarious. Oh, freaking hell. Lin Qingyu, ... Huangdong had come looking for the two young masters. Seeing this scene, he thought that the young master Hao was ill from the upteenth time. With fire burning in his eyebrows, he said, Young master, what happened to the young master Hao? After Lin Qingyu checked Lu Wancheng's pulse, he didn't know what expression to show for a while. He was too weak to bear the excitement, so he temporarily lost consciousness. It's not a big problem. Let's just wait for him to recover. Huangdong hit the truth on the head. But with the young master Hao's temperament, what could have possibly gotten so unbearably excited? Lin Qingyu's cheeks slightly warmed. Ooh. He forced himself to calm down and said, Who knows with him? Who knows with him? Carry him into the room to rest. When Huangdong left with Lu Wancheng on his back, Lin Qingyu said coldly, Since your highness is here, why hide in the dark?